Hi guys, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock right now. I'm Stephen Boyle. Hazardous weather outlook for southern New England. Flood watch for portions of central Maine tonight, as of course there is a possibility with this upcoming storm that we could get some flooding. 1 to 3 inches of rain out there. We'll have to watch out for that. Rivers, streams could go above flood stage, and again there's a possibility that some low-lying areas could get flooded out as well. Again, hazardous weather outlook for the same exact reason, potential for flooding tomorrow. However, also a possibility of a few strong thunderstorms, but that chance is low because we don't have any sun out tomorrow. Therefore, how can the thunderstorms build if there's no sun? The only thing that the thunderstorms could work on is the humidity, but that wouldn't make them severe. That would just make them a regular, normal thunderstorm. So I don't really see where they're getting the possibility of severe weather. I don't see that. Here is the rain. It is right now starting to enter into western portions of the Pioneer River Valley, western and central portions of Hamden, Hampshire, and Franklin counties. That's where it's starting to enter in right now. Berkshire County getting a nice dosing of rain tonight. Zooming out here and showing you what's going on across the whole Northeast. There is some rain into northern New York. Some of the portions of New York where I cover up into this region. So if you live into that region, some heavy rain tonight. Central Vermont is also seeing some rain tonight. And again, there's that swath of rain that's going to eventually be affecting Massachusetts and Connecticut, and is even affecting portions of southern New Hampshire tonight. Maine is clear, or at least cloudy at this particular point. So eventually, like I said, eventually that will start working its way in here, probably early tomorrow morning. I would say anywhere between 3 and 5 tomorrow morning is when that rain will start coming down in Maine. So yeah, this is all the rain that we're gonna get, and actually there is some more rain back out in here. And maybe the reason why they're talking about the thunderstorms is because of these back out in here. But again, those will weaken because, like I said, there's a big area of clouds covering New England and this area, to where this area did have some instability earlier this afternoon. And, you know, it's been clear the majority of the day. But as this system started to enter in, the clouds started to build across New England. So, and those will generally be staying and keeping the temperatures fairly cool. So, like I said, I don't see severe weather in our future. But if we did get a severe thunderstorm tomorrow, which is a very low chance, probably less than a 30% chance, we would get small hail or a quick burst of hefty winds. But like I said, they wouldn't do the majority of the threat, though, would be flooding. That would be what the severe threat would be. Alright, so this is well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on across the country here. There's a lot, okay? There's quite a bit. Florida, the Gulf Coast region, that's where all the action is. If you're a meteorologist, like one that's going to school for meteorology, this is where all the action is. Florida, the Gulf Coast, we're talking about tracking a tropical storm out in the Gulf of Mexico. Tornado watches, flood warnings into portions of central Florida, even a small little tornado warning into portions of Florida. Very active, okay, and it's because of Debbie. Debbie is in here, and she is going to eventually be working her way up like this, or out like this. There's a few brief concerns that she could move up like this and maybe affect New England, but I do not see that happening. Like I said, there is no model that is suggesting that, but again, we just have to watch out for that. Something to keep an eye on, just in case it does. Heat advisory for portions of Alabama. Temperatures, you know, the sustained temperatures at 100 degrees, or the air temperatures. That feels like temperatures around 105. We all know what that feels like after last week. There is that another heat advisory into portions of Kansas. Then you talk about portions of the West, the portions of the Four Corners region, the portions of Nevada, actually a large majority of Nevada, Utah, and also portions of Colorado are under a red flag warning. Dry, patched conditions into this region. Bone dry. We're talking about low humidities, fairly warm temperatures, and breezes that are causing some wildfire concerns into this region. There's actually a fire warning out into portions of New Mexico, obviously for the fact that, hey, there's a fire right now out into that region. Frost warning into southern portions of Oregon tonight, because it'll be very cold. Around 32 to 36 degrees. That is absolutely freezing cold out there. Then we have a flood warning into portions of Minnesota. And then, of course, there is some air quality alerts out into portions of the Midwest because of the heat and humidity that they have all summer. Not really anything new for them. They can keep it. So this week here, it's actually not going to be too bad here in New England. We're going to be generally talking about 70s. There's that rain for tomorrow. There could actually be one day this week where we don't even get out of the upper 60s, and that looks to me as if it's going to be Tuesday. So this is the rain that will be affecting us tomorrow. Fairly active weather here, and this low generally is going to be lingering around New England. And the reason why that we're going to get the cool weather is because this low will actually be pouring in the cooler air from Canada and bringing it down right into our region here across all of New England. So there could, like I said, there could be some days where we don't even get out of the low upper 60s, lowest 70s, and that would be only for a day, but generally the whole week will be in the 70s here. In the meantime, it'll be warm in the Midwest and the West, and it'll be cool in the Northwest. So cool the Northeast, warm the Midwest, we'll just put a W there, and then a cool into the Northwest. And also it'll be warm down here as well. So generally, if you want the summertime warmth, go out into the Midwest and the South, because that's where it is. But yeah, it's because of this low that we have up into that will be affecting us that will actually keep the cool temperatures around, and it will not feel like summer out there. That's the NAM model, and the NAM is actually suggesting that Debbie will just be lingering around Florida and actually dissipate in Florida, actually becoming more of a stationary system. Stationary just means not really moving much. I don't see that. The NAM is the only one that's suggesting that. All the other models eventually have Debbie moving off towards the east. You can see this is the Canadian, and there's that system moving off to the north yet again. There is Debbie, and you can see that she moves out to the central portions of the Atlantic Ocean. So that's what I'm seeing at this particular point. I do not see Debbie at this particular point posing a threat for New England. Now, there is that rain for tomorrow, and this causes a, this is the GFS model, by the way. This causes a trough in the east, okay? And in the meantime, it causes the warmth to pour into the Midwest and also some cool air to pour into the Northwest. Usually, the way how the pattern works, when it's cool in the Northwest, it's warm in the Midwest, and it's cool in the Northeast. That's generally how the pattern works. Not all the time, though, but that's usually how it works. It's usually cool in the two corners and warm in the Midwest. But again, this Debbie will eventually move like this, as we all know, and generally not affect New England at all. All right. So the question is right now, when will it warm up? It looks to me as if towards the end of next weekend we'll start getting back into those upper 80s, or lower 90s, but it will be very short-lived, probably even short-lived than this little period of warmth that we had, because it looks like we'll get a nice rainstorm or thunderstorm that will be moving through on Tuesday. Tuesday evening, around the 3rd of next week. But again, this is still far out. But again, this is what I'm looking at right now. And then by the 4th, it looks to me as if it will be nice. Probably a little bit cooler than what it was. And then we have a possibility by the evening or the nighttime of the 4th to get some actual rain. And then by the 5th, maybe even a rainstorm, keeping things fairly cool. Only for New England, okay? Because it looks to me as if, how can I tell? Well, you can see in here, there's actually a little bit of a trough that builds, and that means there's some air coming down, cool air coming down from Canada, and that's from this little low pressure system that comes down from Canada and gives us rain. Possibly some localized regions getting some good rains out of that. But then as time moves on, this trough continues to build across the east, giving us some more rain eventually. So we'll have to see how that happens, and then maybe eventually that being broken again, and then sometime around the 9th, maybe getting warm weather again until we get another front move through with some more thunderstorms. So at least at this particular point, I'm not sure how things will work out, but again, it looks like we'll get some periods where we're warm and then we cool down. Again, the warm spells will only last 2 days at the 2 days tops, and these warm spells maybe at highest will get to 93, but that would be the warmest, at least at this particular point, that we would hit. But again, that's my update here for tonight. I know I'm not doing it every day, but you know, it is the summer, and of course, you know, I'm trying to enjoy myself. But I am posting obviously more updates than I was earlier on here. So again, have a great rest of your evening, and I'll be posting another update hopefully tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone. Take care.